Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you live this Tuesday afternoon, January 7th. We're looking at the last 4 days of the market profile of the SPY ETF on Window Trader. And on a day that had a trend day up yesterday, we had 3 sets of singles. ES had 1. Very, very normal to have a consolidating period the following day, which is exactly what we did. In fact, we had such a consolidating day. We have an inside day, which will make for a very, very nice setup come tomorrow. We took out 2 sets of single prints. We held 1. We end 12 wide. It becomes a very, very good rotational day if you wanted to take it from either both sides or one side, whatever you prefer. I had come in, I'm going to make this big and out, I had come in with a fairly large position that I had spoken about that was not in my favor. I was fortunate enough when A opened and come down, I took it off the table as it was coming down all off the table. So it could have been an absolute nightmare. Still was a red trade, but however, a lot better than it was looking. Now I still had till next Friday, so I easily could have held that trade. Right? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I don't like that. I'm a trader. I'm not a, if I want to be a swing trader, it's one thing. Then I could take a trade for next Friday or 2 weeks out, but certainly not the size I had, that's for sure. But I want to be a day trader and do the things that I know how to do and do them right and go by the book. And that's what I have to get myself back to doing. I didn't trade really at all today after that because it takes a lot of mental stress over the last 24 hours to get to the point. Well, I was finally able to relax a little bit today. I did make one trade I did do. I actually took a long after getting out of everything. I took a long in E period when it first opened. We had single prints. We were one time framing up, and we were above. We had gotten above the price pro from yesterday. As soon as it took out D's low, stopped the one time framing up, took out the singles and got accepted back into, I got out. Something I have to do more of. Have to get out of a losing trade, have to let a winning trade run. Been doing this 36 years. It's still not the easiest thing. So for all the people who are out there that are new and still have trouble with it, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Believe me. If people tell you it's easy, they're lying. The only other trade I took was actually in L period. I did not think at the time, since we were already 11 wide and with the market down, the thought of a price spike and then possibly a price probe high, I did not think would happen. Took a small put play here, and I mean small. When we took out H&I's high, added to it small at C's high, and then wrote it down, was basically out at POC. And then it flushed down to value low. It's another case. It was a small trade. Again, I should have held on to some of it, even below POC, to maximize my potential. Didn't do it. That's fine. New day tomorrow. Start fresh. So, who won today? Well, yeah, we're down $1, no doubt. But the bulls, still after that run up yesterday, we didn't get anywhere near that buy tail. The sellers couldn't even get it to the buy tail from yesterday, and we still have a trend day. Now, if a trend day is to be taken back, I said this morning, it's usually late in the second day or in the third day. Well, tomorrow's the third day. We're going to see with an inside day what transpires tomorrow. Okay, destinations for tomorrow. On the upside, we were 12 wide at 322.98. Then we have today's high of 323.54. Yesterday's high of 323.73. And then you should have the other two, the weekly all-time high and the overnight high. For the downside, we don't have anything till today's low of 322.24. Then we have the afternoon pullback low from yesterday. So that was another reason I had basically gotten out of that whole position. 2 things. We started tapering off. Well, 3 things. Tapered off as we came down. That's number 1. Number 2, we had the afternoon pullback low. Number 3, we still had the single prints. So that's why I basically took it off at the bottom of that. And then below 322.14, we have the single prints at 321.88 get filled at 75, and then yesterday's low of 320.36. Chart-wise, again, I know I keep going over it, but it is important, right? It's this way you could see them when you're trading. we've had a very tight range now, and I'll show you down the daily in a second, but you get lulled to sleep and everything else. We all one time frame it up in a monthly with the gap. Very healthy. Weekly. We have a nice 3-week balance forming right now. Now there's still three days to go in this week, and we'll see what happens. We tested the low of it yesterday, so we'll see what happens. And we have the gaps. We have 2 gaps. Actually, that's that bad tick from before. Oh, there it goes. It just disappeared. Oh no, it didn't. It's over there. I'm looking at this gap. But we do have 2 gaps in the weekly, and the daily. Now, again, trading is an art. It's not a science. There's not one thing that says this has to be your balance, right? Markets are very visual. People are going to use different balances. I think a lot of people would probably just encompass these last 7 or 8 days. I'm encompassing all of this for the simple fact is we got into the top of that 3-day balance a couple of times, right? At least 3 days. So that tells me you're probing into them. If we had never gotten to the top of those 3, I wouldn't include them in the balance, but we have. So to me, we're in a 15-day balance, and the range is pretty small. It's $5.81. That's pretty small for 15 trading days, right? That's 3 full weeks. So with an inside day tomorrow, let's see what happens, right? You come out of an inside day, you go with that trade, and you monitor it for continuation, or more importantly, or just as importantly, lack of. So the question is, now we do have non-farm payrolls on Friday. So that could temper whichever way we come out of it tomorrow. But you still have to go with it tomorrow. So if we come out to the upside, odds are you're going to go for the all-time high. If you come out of it to the downside, you're certainly going to probably test at least yesterday's low, at least these 2 or 3 lows there. And if they don't hold, then the bottom of your 15-day balance. So it should be a good opportunity for tomorrow. One other thing, and I'll show it to you on both the weekly and the daily. We've talked about this before with trends. A trend starts getting older, long in the tooth, as you get less and less distance away from previous highs or lows, depending on which way you're trading, right? Looking in December, this is from last year. We were getting beautiful distance away. Then you balance, right? Markets don't go bull bear. So the question was, we went bull balance. Now what? Well, we gapped high and continued bull until we balanced again. And then we went bear for a little while, right? And then we started a whole little bull balance, and then down. Well, now this is sort of like this, right? From early last year. So from October here, we've had some great distance. Once we came out of this balance, remember, we've had some really nice distance. Now we're in a balancing stage again. So again, the question has to be posed. Is this trend getting long in the tooth and they're getting tired and we're going to stop it and go and roll over? Or we're going to come out of this balance again to the upside and continue to all-time highs and new all-time highs? That's obviously a question that remains to be seen, right? So what I just showed you on those 3 weeks, it's here it is. So very important. We take out the all-time high, maybe we get another leg up. We take this out and then eventually take this out. Well, then you start talking about a lot of different things coming into play with gaps and the 50-day and all that. I do think, and I'm not saying this market's going to do whatever it wants to do, right? And I told you yesterday, my bias hurt me. All right, I told you, I said you can't be biased, you can't fight it. Told you exactly what I'm looking for in the market, and then I fought it. Very stupid. Learn from that. But I do think there's a certain complacency in this marketplace, and I see it. And look, with M period yesterday, this M period. I mean, we can go back a million days and show you how every time we've dipped down, the market has just gone right back up. And I'm not saying that can't continue. And it will continue until it doesn't. Sounds silly, right? But until we go balance and then down, it's going to continue. But just don't lull yourself to sleep. Don't get complacent. And certainly have your destinations, reference points, and market generated information and use those. I'm certainly going to try to do a better job at that. I hope you had a good day. Have a great evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.